I always thought my childhood room was normal. Then I found a hidden drawer. I always thought my childhood room was the most boring place in the house. Beige walls, squeaky ceiling fan, the same posters I'd taped up when I was 6. But every time someone came over, they'd give me this weird look, like something felt off. I never understood why until last week. My mom told me to clean out the room before she turned it into her sewing space, so I went in ready to toss old notebooks and broken toys. When I moved my dresser for the first time ever, the back panel shifted. Behind it was a hidden drawer I'd never seen. Inside were 3 things: a folded piece of yellow paper, a small silver key, and a Polaroid face down. I opened the paper first. The note said, "If you found this, the room finally chose you. Do not ignore what you see next." I laughed nervously because it sounded dramatic, but when I turned over the Polaroid, my stomach dropped. The picture showed my room exactly as it was, except there was a tall man standing in the corner. Not blurred, not distorted, just standing there like he'd been part of the room forever. I told myself it had to be edited, but the longer I looked, the more details I noticed. His head slightly tilted, hands behind his back, shoes strangely shiny even though the photo looked old. I put it down and grabbed the silver key. There was nothing in the drawer that needed a key, so I started checking the edges. My fingers hit a thin metal ridge. Another panel. I pushed it and the bottom of the drawer lifted like a trap door. Inside was a wooden box with a tiny keyhole. My heartbeat got loud. I slid the key in and opened it. Inside the box were more Polaroids. Dozens. All taken in my room across different years, based on the furniture and wall posters, but always from the same corner. And in every single one, the man was there. Sometimes closer, sometimes farther. Sometimes slightly turned like he'd moved between shots. The earliest photo had a date from before my parents even bought the house. I dropped the stack. I wanted to run, but something else caught my eye. In the exact corner where the man stood, the wallpaper looked lifted. I pulled it back and found a small, circular hole, like a peephole facing into the room, as if someone had been watching whoever slept there. My breath caught. I put my eye to it. Nothing but darkness. I called my mom and asked if she knew anything about the drawer. She went silent, then said, "I told your father we should have sealed that room completely." She told me to wait outside. When she came out, she looked pale, like she already knew what I'd found. They locked the room that night. My dad shoved a wardrobe in front of the door. But around midnight, when I went to the hallway, I heard a soft scrape from behind the wall, like a shoe shifting on wood. This morning, I checked the stack of Polaroids again. There was a new one on top. In it, the man wasn't in the corner anymore. He was standing in the hallway, right outside my door. After seeing that photo, I couldn't stop replaying every night I'd slept in that room. Every time I felt like someone was staring at me from the doorframe, every shadow I convinced myself was just the curtains moving. It all suddenly felt like pieces of a puzzle I never realized existed. I kept thinking about the idea of the room choosing me. Why me? What did that even mean? The longer I thought about it, the more I remembered small moments that never made sense. The faint tapping on the wall I heard as a kid. The times my toys went missing and reappeared in the corner where the man always stood. Even the nights I woke up facing the opposite direction from how I fell asleep. The worst memory came back slowly. One night when I was 8, I woke up because I felt cold air on my face. I thought the window had opened, but when I sat up, I saw the silhouette of someone standing at the foot of my bed. I froze. I remember blinking hard, thinking it was just a nightmare. When I turned on my lamp, the figure was gone. My parents said it was a night terror. I believed them, but now I'm not sure. I thought about telling my parents everything, the peephole, the hidden compartment, the man. But something stopped me. A feeling like if I said it out loud, something worse would happen. Like the room was listening. I kept imagining someone crouched behind the wall, holding their breath, waiting to hear what I'd reveal. Even when I left the house for a walk, I felt watched. Not followed, but watched, like the feeling stuck to me. When I returned home that evening, I noticed something else. The wardrobe my dad placed in front of the door had shifted slightly. Not a lot, but enough to leave a scrape mark on the floor. My dad swears he didn't move it. My mom won't even talk about the room anymore. She avoids that part of the hallway completely. But last night, I heard her whisper something to my dad. She said, "It's happening again." I don't know what again means, but I haven't slept since.